You're listening to the Hope Not Nope podcast
with Doc Dylan
and Brandy.
We empower high performers with a three-part strategy of hope,
Self-agency, goals, and proven frameworks,
so that you can reach your potential
and the highest quality of life. How's it going? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hope Not Nope podcast. We're so thankful that you're here. Our podcast format, if you're new here, is we answer your questions. So if you have a question for us, we would love to answer it on a future episode. So feel free to send us a message on Instagram or Facebook, or comment on even a YouTube video. Or you can go to our website, which will be in the show notes, and click the link and you can ask us a question there. But regardless, we'd love to answer your questions on a future episode.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
I think the only one we missed is pigeon mail, but then we have to give the address and probably shouldn't do that. So we'll stick to electronic formats.
All right. Our listener named Keith asked us this question. I was talking with a friend who is using ChatGPT to plan her workouts, and then watching the NBA Finals, I see a commercial with Gemini writing a training program to help you make the big shot. My question is, do you think in the future AI is going to replace personal trainers or strength and conditioning coaches?
The future
Is now.
Wow, that is a phenomenal question. And I think the answer is very layered to it.
Yeah.
I think to give my general first thought, I had to fight to not salute general.
Oh,
but my first thought is that the answer, I think, is no. I think it has potential to assist the coach and the trainer in a lot of positive ways. But I think as a whole, I don't see AI replacing the human being as a coach or a trainer.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I think that the entire occupation isn't going to be wiped out. But there's a reality that his friend, and I'm sure people we know, have already replaced trainers or strength and conditioning coaches. However, I don't think the entire occupation is going to be gone. You know?
And it all comes down to, what is that individual's goal of using a trainer? And I know years ago, this is probably 12 or 13 years ago, when I started working, and not in a physical therapy standpoint, but a coaching standpoint with some athletes and some older athletes. My goal was to give them everything that they needed. Here's the tools. Here's how to do this. Great. You don't need me anymore. Go do this on your own. And they would say, I much prefer paying you to be here with me. And I'd go, why? You have the program. You know how to do it. I've taught you how to progress it and how to regress it. You can just run this template over every 8 to 12 weeks. Why would you keep paying for me to be here? And they're like, I enjoy you coaching me. And I was like, wow, what a really cool aspect of the profession.
Yeah.
That individual valued the camaraderie of a coach. And for that individual, they were able to push a little bit harder with a coach being present, or felt more safe to push harder with a coach being present. So I think there's a ton of value in that. I also think some people would say, well, that athlete's not serious. They're not disciplined. Well, maybe they are, and maybe they've realized that they get more out of having a coach. I think of Patrick Mahomes going to Bob Stroop.
Yeah.
Mahomes knows how to work out at this point. He knows what to do for each season. It's one less thing he needs to think about.
Yeah.
Right? So I get to go and this is done for me. Well, does AI do that? Yeah. It can take the thinking out of it, right? So this is where the layered of the conversation comes in of AI can do that. It can take the thinking out for you. But what are you trying to get out of it? Do you have general health goals? Or is it a competitive athletic goal? And that's where the conversation slightly starts to change a little bit. Do you want a coach, like a strength coach, strength conditioning specialist, a personal trainer that's going to push you to your potential? Or do you want the bobblehead quarterback that just says yes? And I saw this the other day, and I wish I remember the coach that posted it to like give her credit, but it was hilarious. She was like, recreating like a trainer and an athlete and then AI and an athlete. And the move was like the Bulgarian split squat. And the athlete was like, oh, this is too heavy. And she was like, how AI would respond. I'm sorry that that weight feels heavy today. That is completely normal for that to occur. There's a lot of variables that go into this, but perhaps you would just benefit from not doing this today. And we can look at other ways to do this. And then it goes to the coach, and the coach is like, let's do 2 reps.
Yeah.
You can do it. Pick it up, lift it.
Hmm.
And right, depending on what your goals are,
Yeah.
you're going to get a benefit out of it. But again, I don't see the coach or trainer being fully replaced by this. I will say, yes, can AI be somewhat more compassionate or empathetic? Maybe in the short term, but if like you have a person that's pushing you because they truly care about the goals are that you set, that is more compassionate than a robot that just agrees with you.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes in training, we don't need the thing that agrees with us. We need the thing that's going to say, "Hey, I know this is feeling a little bit heavy today. You know, it's 80% of your 1 rep max. You've been here before. We can take down the reps a little bit, but we need to do this movement today. Like it's part of it. We might be able to modify it and adjust it, but it needs to get done. Remember what your goal was. This is it. Like I care about you as a human. These are your goals. I'm here to help you reach those goals." And I see again the human. I think can do that better than artificial intelligence that just agrees with you most of the time.
Well, I think another part of this, at least in the side of our business that's on social media, what I'm seeing, and even with, recently Instagram created this new feature where you can like post a photo real quick. Have you noticed that? So it's basically like kind of like a story, but there's no editing at
Mm-mm.
all. Literally all you can do is just like take a quick snapshot of it, almost like Snapchat in a way. And not that we use Snapchat, but like you get kind of
Mm-hmm.
it's there for 24 hours and then it disappears, similar to the story, but again, no editing.
Yeah.
And I really think that Instagram is doing this so that it's bringing back the human side of different accounts
Uh,
to almost be like AI's not everything,
mhm.
even though Instagram, obviously, there's a lot of AI within it.
Right.
Like it's bringing back the human side of it. And I think more and more people are starting to value not using AI and having the person to person contact. And so
Yeah.
I really think this is a fair question. In a lot of ways, our world is leaning into AI stuff,
Yeah.
but just as much as it's leaning into AI stuff, I do think that there's people who are leaning into like people being connected to people stuff too.
Yeah. Absolutely. And programming, like programming is a art and a science.
Hmm.
AI is not able to do the art part
Yeah.
of it. I had to try really hard to not say fart there. The
For
art
art,
part, the
for
fart
art
part.
part.
But AI is not able to do the art part. There's this thought that artificial intelligence is able to create new things. And what's missing that is that it has to pull from sources that have already been created.
Hmm.
Like it's impressive what it can do, but it's just taking it from massive data sources and then regurgitating it to you. Now, again, if your goal is like general health, right? There's the American College of Sports Medicine. There's a lot of articles on what your workout should look like if you have a general health goal. If your goal is high rocks, it's very well known of what the events are and the capacities needed for that. So it can create a good program based off of all of the data that's already available in there, right? But does it have the art part of
Hmm.
it? And I don't think it does, and I don't think it will be able to.
Yeah.
when you work with a true expert in the field, and I will say that we are thankful and we are blessed that our employee who's a strength and conditioning coach is an absolute expert
Mm-hmm.
in the field. After seeing his programs and working with him, I would never outsource that to AI.
No.
Like, no shot would I do that. And I know that not everybody has the ability to have access to that level of coach. But to me, I'm like, that's where I would like plant my feet down and be like, AI cannot replace that
Yeah.
because you have to know the science, the progressive overload, the specificity, the rep schemes, the predictions. Like, you have to know that stuff. And AI knows that stuff. But he also has the art part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you have access to? How do I tweak this a little bit? Let me look at your internal load and how do I base it off of that internal load? Like, how do I change these things? Can AI try to do it? It can pretend to try to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to be as good.
Also, you have to be able to really feed AI properly
Right.
with like the language that you're using in order to set AI up to be the most successful. And the reality is that a coach, especially if it's like a coach in a gym that can see all of the things, like it's
Yeah.
going to know way more than probably what you if you're using AI,
Hmm.
you probably don't know the name of half of the machines
Yeah.
and you might not even be feeding it properly like what your goal is and how to have the right language and things like that to set AI up for success to help you be successful.
Right. Yeah. And that part of it is key of the presence, the art, and that AI is just not able to do that. And but I do think that AI can be super useful for coaches to use.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I don't want to say bouncing ideas off of, but helping to calculate load
Mm-hmm.
in a program, helping to calculate split times. It can be very, very useful for that. But to replace,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah, you're saying like around a track, like a split time, say they're running like 3 miles around a track and you have the numbers and then it can calculate like for example, you run the first one in 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and then the next one, the time is at 4 minutes and 45 seconds,
Hmm.
and then you keep going, whatever. You can put those like numbers in, and then AI will tell you what the actual like minute and second rep is in
Hmm.
between. Like, sure, as a coach, you can do that yourself. It's just going to take a lot longer, where
Right.
like they can just like pump out the math real quick, is the example that you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's where that AI can be super helpful. But again, the human coach has to be leading it
Yeah.
and, looking and seeing where is this helpful.
Mhm.
From a math standpoint too, like we've seen multiple times where the AI model, like the math isn't always super accurate. And when you're pushing capacity with like a high level goal and your mileage is getting up
Mhm.
high in a week, you don't want that to be wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a few times because I've like played around with it of like running different programs through it and seeing like, hey, based off of this VO2 max, based off of this, create this program. And you start looking through it and you're like, you tripled the mileage
Mm.
in a week. Like, no,
That's risk for injury.
that's setting you up for
Yeah.
injury. And then you get to like the typical principle of like, don't progress more than 10% or don't double the workload. Yeah, true. But when you're at like a 35-mile-an-hour week,
Hmm.
there's a big window of what doubling the workload would be
Yeah.
that you then have to go, oh, you know what? Like, let me evaluate this from like the science and the art side of it. Of if you're already doing 35 miles a week, 37 miles a week is a pretty good jump,
Hmm.
right? Like looking at 35 and like, oh, we can go up to like 70. It's under that, anywhere there's good. Like, no, that's a lot of extra toll on the
Yeah.
body. Like the accumulation
Hmm.
and the exponential stress that's taken on when you get to these higher capacities. Like, I don't trust
No.
AI with that.
No, I don't either. Also, another thing that I'm just thinking of now is AI won't tell you no.
Right.
Like if I
Right.
if I were to type it in and say I'm just throwing out random numbers, but if I were to give the example of I have the goal of running a 5K in 25 minutes on, say, July 4th in a few weeks or whatever.
Hmm.
Right now, my current fastest mile pace is 11 minutes and 30 seconds. How do I reach that goal? AI is just going to be like, well, even though your pace is 11:30, now you need to change it to this. And realistically, a coach is going to be like, I'm sorry, that's probably not a realistic goal for you to run a 25-minute 5K in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. Sorry, let's reassess your goal. AI is not going to tell you that. They're just going to be like, here, this is what you need to do. And it's like, sorry, I can't go run an 8-minute mile because I've never done that before, or a 7 minute
Right.
mile because I've
Yeah.
never done that before.
Yes.
They're just going to say, go do this, you know?
Right. To that point, I think it was a few days ago, I was like playing around with it and it said, "Hey, I have a college lacrosse player I'm working with, setting up a summer program. What do you want the weekly mile? Where do you think the weekly mileage should start at?" And it projected and estimated that it should be at 8 miles for the first week. To which I said, "Yeah, this individual hasn't ran over 2 miles in the past 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Starting at 8 miles in the first week, that sets up a summer of injury
Mm-hmm.
versus summer of performance training." So like, nope, can't
Nope.
can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I think all that to say, AI is valuable, but when you get down to the nitty gritty, at some point, like it is not going to serve you.
Hmm.
And I think that this is a example, especially with a very specific high performance goal where AI is not going to take over.
Right. And pending your goal, it's like if your goal is just general health and looking good
Mm-hmm.
and you're self-sufficient, you have good training age, which means that you've been working out for a while with quality reps and you kind of have a good idea of what you're doing and you just don't want to think,
Mm-hmm.
then AI can serve you really well. I'd also say that like generally if that's your goal, you're probably not seeking out a trainer
Mm-hmm.
or a coach. So I feel like the population that's using AI for their training is a population that has already not sought out coaches
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
begin with. So, I don't see it like taking away from the
Mm-hmm.
coaches. And the best coaches in the next 20, 30 years will figure out how to implement it wisely to
Yeah.
improve their ability to coach
Mm-hmm.
athletes versus it taking over their position.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a hope story that you'd like to share?
All right. So I guess it's a hope story, but Brandon would probably be better to share this one. But we're coming back, and I don't remember what episode it was, but I was sharing about the miniature, no, it was a donkey or a miniature horse that was running with the bigger
Yes,
horses.
I remember this.
And, living in a more rural, remote area, we get to see animals just doing funny things.
I know exactly where you're going with
And
this.
on our way back this morning, Brandy saw a goat that
Mhm.
was on top of a playground eyeing the slide.
Yeah.
Like we didn't get to see it go down the slide because we were driving by, but this goat was on top of the platform looking to go down a slide.
Yeah, he was thinking about it.
Right. And you might be thinking, how is that a hope story? Well, it's a hope story because it probably made you smile
Hmm.
or it's going to make you laugh when you consider a goat going down a slide.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, how funny is that? Like, do they just like get back in line and go up it again
Right.
for X amount of time before they go eat grass?
Well, and
Like,
it's not a small slide either. Like it really, not that it was a huge one, but it's like your average like play set that you would have in the backyard for like littler kids.
yeah,
And but not like toddlers. Like it's kind of the in between. And for whatever reason, this is like where all the goats play. And there's probably like 10, 20 goats. I don't know how many, but one of them was in the playground. So we got up there somehow. I I haven't been close, so I don't know exactly how it got up there. But he got up there. Maybe he ran up the slide and then he was looking at it like, is it time to go down? Like, does he go down on his belly? Does he go down on his legs? Can his
yeah,
legs handle that? Or will they slip? Will they topple over? All the questions.
right.
I wish we saw it.
And it's funny because it relates to like AI when AI started generating more images and videos
Hmm.
of you'd see these crazy images of like, oh, look at this black bear jumping on the trampoline
Yeah.
in the backyard, or like, you know, if you're younger, your parents were sending you all these videos of like, whoa, can you believe this happened?
Right.
Like, this eagle just took a golden retriever and took him to flight and then
Yeah.
brought him back home. Like, no, I don't believe it because it didn't happen because
Yeah.
it was made
Because
up.
it's AI. But this was not AI.
This was real. We saw it with our eyes, or Brandy saw it with her eyes.
It's awesome. It was awesome. Although
So,
I do think those videos are kind of funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They're funny to think about, like, what if that was actually real?
right,
You know?
right. The imaginations.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun stuff.
Yeah,
Fun world.
absolutely. So I think that wraps it up.
Yeah.
I hope that Hope story brought you some joy.
Brought me joy.
Go back and watch the goats go down the slide.
Yeah, exactly.
But have a great week, and remember, high performance isn't just about using the strategy of hope, it's about becoming hope.
Thank you for listening to the Hope Not Nope podcast. Please subscribe and share this episode. This podcast is for educational and personal development purposes only and is not considered health or medical advice. For personalized support, connect with a Hope Coach at hopenotnope.org.